Hi, it's Merryl Key, and this is my mystery school and your Astro Dice forecast for the month of April 2023. If you want some in-depth astro analysis, look at my full moon and new moon astrology, posted twice a month. Last month was a huge shift in energy, with two of the big planets, Saturn and Pluto, moving into new signs. Pluto in Aquarius and Saturn in Pisces. We've got the Libran full moon on April the 6th, and the new moon comes with an eclipse on the 20th of April in Aries, right at the last degree. Mercury's in Taurus and it turns retrograde on the 21st at 15 degrees. Venus is also in Taurus, moving into Gemini on the 12th of April, and a couple of the big aspects this month. Mars in Cancer will be sextile Uranus in Taurus on the 30th of April. It's a really lucky placement that gets things moving your way. One of the other lucky days is Wednesday the 12th, when the Sun and Jupiter combine in Aries. This gives you a lot of confidence, it makes you bold, and it helps you motivate yourself into the right direction and into the right action. Just after Venus has moved into Gemini, it squares Saturn in Pisces on April 15. Venus square Saturn only lasts a couple of days, but it could involve things like confusing conversations, a financial loss or a debt coming in, something coming home to roost that you hoped might have disappeared. And with that, let's get into all signs, starting with Aries. Aries, your Astro Dice reading. You've got the full moon opposite your sign on the April 6th and 7th, and you've got an eclipse in your sign on the 20th. Eclipses in your sign open up a new cycle. They make you look at things in a different way, and sometimes things you were counting on disappear or come in during that time. Some of you may find a big change with your appearance, with your health, and just even your general mood. And maybe the way you direct yourself out in the world, maybe you're pulling back a bit or maybe you're stepping out more. Jupiter's in Aries, really bolstering your confidence, but pushing a bit of pressure onto you as well. Let's see what the Astro Dice has to say. We've got Mars in the 10th. That was the 10th. In Aries. So Mars is the ruler of Aries, so we've got a match. And this is really putting the spotlight on how you want to be putting yourself out in the world. What you're doing for your career, what you're doing for your public face, how that impacts on your home life, and potentially looking for recognition and reward from your peers. We've got something really shoving you out in the spotlight. Conflict can become visible and have an action taken. There's nothing hidden or under the covers with this. It's out loud and proud. And Aries, you should be out loud and proud too. Mars is a natural place for you and you're very comfortable with it. It lights your fire. It gets you moving. It keeps you focused. This month of April could see you taking on a public conflict or a more visible public role. If you're in a dispute with someone, I would say it comes to a head this month. And because Mars rules your sign, I feel it's favourable for you. You're comfortable with the way Mars wants to push ahead. You know what you want. It's visible. It's right there in front of you. So with Jupiter in your sign and some really lucky days, April is a time to ask for it and assume that it's yours. Taurus. Mercury's in your sign from April the 4th and it turns retrograde on the 21st. And that means, Taurus, you might be tripping over your own feet for a couple of weeks. Be careful this month with what you're putting out, your messages, your phone, your computer. If there's important documents that need signing, try to hold off until Mercury's clear. If you're looking to negotiate important things, then this is the time you get your wiggle room. You've got a special connection going on with Mars and Uranus right at the end of the month on the 30th. And this gives a real burst of energy. It's kind of electric and nurturing at the same time. Really psychic. Follow through on your body hunches especially you May 9 birthdays, it's coming full bore for you. It's the end of some sort of daily routine or habit or a health issue. Some conflict that's come up can throw you into a place of really deep understanding and release. Here's what the dice has to say. We've got Sag in the 4th house in Neptune. This puts a bit of a blur around your home life, and maybe some of you are thinking of travelling. Sag in the 4th house means you're expanding what you've got at home, you're expanding your family of origin in some way, or travelling to see family, having family visit. Neptune in the 4th puts a cloud around like where you put your feet, what you think is your foundation. Some of you literally might be having floorboards lifted up. There's also a spiritual aspect that comes through with this reading for you, Taurus. And there might be an olive branch or some hope and some charity coming through to something you hold really dear, something at the core of your being. Extra knowledge is coming through, and there's a shake-up or a loss or a dissolving over the way things have been running. This is a good one for making plans, but remember Mercury's retrograde this month, so don't go booking holidays while that's happening. Gemini. Venus comes into your sign on the 12th, which increases your whole romantic influence. But it also makes you a bit fickle. You'll find yourself attracting a bit of luck and a bit of attention. So try to keep yourself grounded with it, because you're liable to go off on a million tangents with it. With the eclipse, you might find you're opening up to a new group or a community. And it might even be something sporty or adventurous or a creative project, something where you have to get brave and throw yourself out there. So keep yourself fun, charming and creative. You have Libra, planet of relationships, in the 3rd house with the moon. Okay, so this is pointing to those romantic relationships and also looking at conversations around your feelings, sharing your vulnerability, learning how to do a bit of give and take. Because we've got Libra there and you have Venus in your sign, April might be a really nice month to be having conversations, meeting up with people, joining classes, or as we said, the eclipse is in your place of community and groups. So it might be something from that community and group that really feels like a good emotional match for you. The moon in the 3rd house can sometimes be a bit anxious, a bit jumpy. But what I see here is April is an opportunity for you to share a deeper emotional connection and to really value your relationships, all relationships, with family, with friends, with mentors, with people from your childhood. There's something quite sentimental about this for you, Gemini. Cancer. Cancer, you have Mars in your sign. So if you've been procrastinating, time to use that energy and move forwards instead of sideways. Cancer is not the favourite place for Mars to be, but there's a lot of strength in it, a lot of resilience, and also Mars in Cancer is really good for body work and health and healing. There's a really nice aspect happening for Cancerians at the end of April on the 30th. This aspect comes with surprises. And those surprises could be around sex, a fling, around work, around public recognition in some way. Although this aspect is disruptive, it brings a hidden gift with it. So whatever gets shaken up around that time, it'll work in your favour. There's Cancer in the 2nd house, Jupiter. Wow, okay, Cancerians. This means there's a little windfall coming your way. Jupiter in the 2nd house means there's an abundance of resources, and Cancer loves the idea of resources. I think April's going to be really lucky for your finances, for purchases. Maybe there's a splurge in your home, or you've got extra income coming in. Jupiter expands what it touches, and with this it's expanding nurturing, protection, and even your baseline possessions, your baseline budget. Because the eclipse is in your 10th house of career, there might be a promotion or a bonus that's coming through. Or it might be something you've created under your own steam. Something that comes through the mother's line, or something that comes through a talent that you have for nurturing. Sometimes Jupiter here could mean there's a bit of a gamble, but I think with Cancer, there's an atmosphere of emotional safety and security rather than blowing it up and throwing it to the winds. So I'm saying you're getting a bonus this month. Leo. Leo, the eclipse is going to shake up your travel plans, help you reach a decision, and maybe you're looking for more adventure or more independence, more self-awareness to liven up your relationships. You might want to study something, even learn a new language. April is here to expand your mind. Sun, 4th house, and Virgo. Sun is the ruler of your sign, Leo, and the 4th house pulls you back into the roots of who you are. Virgo says there's a detail you need to check up on. Maybe there's a big clean out that needs to happen. With the eclipse in your 9th, you're ready to actually go different places, physically, psychically, emotionally, mentally. But this dice pulls you right down into the dirty detail and keeps you at home when you really want to fly. The sun in the 4th house hides itself a bit, and that's not natural for a Leo. So I feel like you're struggling to express yourself fully. Something's got you stuck in drudgery, and it might have something to do with your family of origin. So we might be going back to the way you were trained up at home when you were a kid. The sun in Virgo brings up scrutiny, and the 4th house is like you really hone into the microscopic. I suspect it's doing your head in, and it might be doing in the people around you as well. If you're taking out your frustrations on others, maybe find your strength again through Virgo things. Get in the garden, clean out your wardrobe, do some meditating or some yoga, something that connects your mind and your body. Virgo is the sign that brings order to chaos. So if your home life has been a bit chaotic, let the eclipse help you step out and see the big picture again. Virgo, I forgot you. Must have been because Leo was taking up all the Virgo energy. The eclipse on the 20th is bringing up all sorts of change and flipping around of your resources, beginnings, endings, closing a big cycle. There's a culmination that you're going through. So let's see what the Astro Dice has to say. Jupiter, Virgo, and the 6th house. Well, Virgo, this suits you down to the ground. Virgo is the ruler of the 6th house, and Jupiter is lucky wherever it is. So this change to your resources might stem from you expanding and growing and developing your daily routines and your work practice. You might be doing a side hustle, or there might be more flexibility or extra staff coming on that are exactly what you need at the moment. The eclipse focuses on you being able to let go of something that's been holding you back, and it also points to finances coming your way. And this is giving you a hall pass for that transition. Because Jupiter grows everything that's around it, you might be starting something more to do with your health or your fitness or your diet, or you might be taking on more pets. Some of you might have been really restricted in your movement in some way, and this opens it out. April gives you a lot more courage to make some big plans, tackle things with optimism, and it feels like a relief has come off your shoulders, like some burden has been lifted. Because Jupiter is just a more planet, there might be something going on at work where you've got more work. But this is lucky. There's a lot of activity, a lot of chance to adapt and grow and develop new plans, new ideas, and more flexibility in your day to take care of things at home, like your pets, like your hobbies, like your fitness. There's a real boost here that you'll see activated in your everyday life. Libra. Libra, the full moon is in your sign on the 6th and 7th. And then on the 20th, you've got an eclipse in your place of relationships. So this month, your battle of balance is around yourself, your physicality, your health, what you need to do independently versus what your relationships are needing from you. And you might be finding that there's new relationships or you're wanting much more independence. April is a month, Libra, where you want to find yourself, even if you haven't been lost for very long. It's time to have a look at your emotional needs and what you need for emotional safety and recognition. Here's what the dice has to say. Got the Moon, Capricorn, and the 12th house. So this is a bit gloomy, I'm afraid. Capricorn in the 12th house is kind of a signature of institutions, like big institutions, like hospitals and prisons. And the Moon there really brings up things from the past, things that have been hidden from your view and are now coming fully in. You might be finding that you have to pay back a duty, or you're involved in some sort of official business that's been really elusive and confusing, shadowed, hidden. April puts a certain amount of duty upon you. And it's something you've got to step up to, even if it wasn't officially yours to deal with. There's something karmic about you stepping in, lending a hand, and in some ways taking charge. You might be dealing with a relative who needs extra help at this time. Or you might be looking at letting something that's taken up a lot of your energy and letting it go, releasing it. Capricorn in this position makes you look at your true, authentic responsibilities. Your responsibility not only to yourself, but to the great collective. You can really pick up brownie points by being charitable and kind and present for someone else. Scorpio. Your month of April starts with the full moon, highlighting some sort of mystery or psychological enigma, some sort of change in routine or change to your health or your work. There's a sense that something is coming back from the past to be readdressed. So let's have a look and see what the dice say. Taurus, Neptune, the 11th. Well, this looks like a friend from the past, maybe a loyal friend or someone you've been really, really loyal to a group or a community. And Neptune's there. Neptune has the effect of dissolving whatever it touches. So it looks to me, Scorpio, that you are dealing with the kind of dissolving of a friendship that you once trusted and relied on, or a group that have been around forever for you. You might have outgrown them spiritually. You might find that you've got different values. This isn't a bad thing because it coincides with you getting more security, more practical friendships and practical help, more self-worth, and less drama in your practical everyday life. Neptune in the 11th really opens up your dreams. And if you're doing creative work with technology or with community or with photography or the moving image with water and liquids, this is a really good time to put your ideas into physical, actual practice and reality. It's a good time to be with an art group or a dance group. It's a good time to give to someone who needs your practical help. But overall, Scorpio, I think this is about you letting go of a friendship because there's some sort of fog or confusion around the basic values of that friendship. Sagittarius. You've got the eclipse happening in your 5th house of romance, self-expression, creativity, and launching your dreams and wishes. The April moon phases are really working in your favour. So this is time for you to put out to the universe what you want to receive and watch it come back in spades. Here's what the dice has to say. Taurus, Saturn, and the 8th house. Well, this is kind of opposite to what I just said. Sag, we're looking at the eclipse, boosting your hopes and dreams. But this is so much about reality and so earthed It's going to be hard for you Sagittarius to really kind of follow this one through. It's acting as a little warning on what you're putting out, not to extend yourself. What we've got, the 8th house of beginnings, endings, sex, mystery, death. Saturn, the headmaster of the zodiac, the one that wants you to live with restriction, calm down and obey the rules. And Taurus, patient, steady, earthy, and fairly traditional. So what does this mean for you? You've got this real urge with the eclipse to express yourself, to really be chasing your happiness and your bliss. There's something you'll need to be pulled back and get your feet on the ground with. A door will need to close. And also you'll have to make sure that if you're not practical with your dreams, if you haven't got the backing and the foundation, and also the self-confidence for your dream, it's going to be hard for you to cross over. That there's a little reality check coming in with it. Saturn and the 8th can mean unfinished business. And when I'm saying unfinished, I mean karmic. It also refers to other people's money. And in this case, it can be taxes, your mortgage, your rates, things to do with your home or your property. If you're looking at refinancing or rearranging the way you do your finances, April is the time to do it. And I suspect you really want to wind something up so that you've got the freedom to move forward. So do that winding up slowly, patiently, and with the good common sense of Taurus. This month won't be so much about you launching your dreams as maybe seeing them come in and land, or maybe you having to tweak something, sign off on something, or get an official stamp for it. Good luck with that, Sag. Capricorn. April is going to be bringing up the axis between work and home, the balance between who you are out there and who you are inside your own kitchen in your pajamas. So we've got Neptune, the 9th house, and Libra. So any changes around your home life might be because you are about to travel, especially travel to beautiful places, old places, places around the ocean, and places where you've got fond, loving memories or a fond, loving person there. 9th house is the place where you expand. It expands your physical boundaries, your mental, your emotional, your vision. With Neptune in Libra, it might be long-distance relationship. It might be about starting some sort of higher education goal, particularly in a creative field. Or it might be about you discussing the distance in a relationship and where you're thinking things have got a bit cloudy. Are you on the same page? Are you heading in the right direction? Are you able to make plans with your significant other and see them come into fruition? If you are going away, I'd be very aware of what's going on with Mercury retrograde. And also, if you're having someone stay in your house, I'd be a bit careful about what they get up to while you're not there. The dice is saying you really want to jump off the edge and expand, but the eclipse is saying you've got to deal with something closer to home. So I guess that's going to be your conflict this month, Cap. Aquarius. The eclipse is happening in your 3rd house of communication, siblings, short travel, knowledge and the mind. You might be learning something new. You might be about to shift from your house or your neighbourhood sometime over this eclipse period, which actually goes 6 months. Changes for you in that regard. Aquarius, you have 4th house, Saturn, and Leo. This has a really protective energy around it, Aquarius. 4th house refers to your home and your family. Saturn is about taking on the big responsibilities, doing what needs to be done and not really arguing about it, just sucking it up and doing it. And Leo wants to have love and light and generosity. It brings fire and passion. It brings children into your home life. So what have we got with this? We know there might be changes coming up around your local travel. And this says you feel a bit restricted, paying for past indulgences, or you'd love to indulge yourself, but you're just not in the right space financially or time-wise or pressure-wise to really go there. There may be something or someone quite dominating entering into your home life. Eclipse in the 3rd house means it could be a neighbour, it could be changes going on in the road outside. Something is grinding against you and making you feel a bit shut down and trapped. I guess the thing to do with that is acknowledge where you have to take responsibility. Leo in the 4th would love to turn everything into a drama, but your dramas aren't going to get very far with Saturn there. Saturn doesn't really allow an emotional explosion. It cuts it cold, it withdraws, it freezes it. So if you've been going through something like that, it's time to get the Leo out, shake out your mane, protect your boundaries. Don't invite drama by doing what you said you'd do and following through on your commitments. This eclipse awakens up a wanderlust for you, but I think what the dice are saying is check in with your entitlements, check in that you're not overstepping into other people's boundaries, and if they're stepping in on yours, look at what's authentic to protect what you love. Pisces, Saturn has moved into your sign and it will be there for a couple of years. This means you might be taking on extra responsibilities, getting stuck in a bit of a grind, or having to dig yourself out of a hole for a bit. But I promise, if you can do that, you will be rewarded. Saturn loves to reward hard work and discipline. And the eclipse later on in the month, around the 20th, is going to give a bit of a shake up to your money and resources. So let's see what the dice have to say. We've got Libra, 7th house, and Saturn. Saturn's in your sign. Libra rules the 7th house. So the dice is pointing to you, Pisces, around your relationships, your commitments, the promises, where relationships have got hard, and what the bottom line you actually owe that relationship. Some of you might find that you're entering a really deep and serious, more committed phase of a relationship, while other Pisceans are going to find that they're ending one. Cleaning up where things got messy or confused, resetting boundaries, and in some ways stepping up to a truth, to a better balance, a better equality. If you've been in a relationship that's been unequal, April is the time you're going to be addressing it, because Saturn there says you really mean it. You're not in la-la land with this. Relationships are requiring more of you, and you have to decide if that's fair, if that's real, and if that's part of your longer-term vision. This is not a fly-by-night thing. This is setting things up for the long term. And if it means working a bit harder, being more present, and setting up better boundaries, then that's what you're going to do. Saturn is a harsh planet in this position, but Saturn always gives reward if you do the work. I'm Merryl Key. Thanks for subscribing and for all your likes, shares and comments, because they really help my channel and I do appreciate it. Thanks for watching.